Country Director, Center for Media Policy and Accountability (CMPA), Kole Shettima has revealed that some persons in authority with the responsibility of protecting the masses and providing basic amenities are making life unbearable for the masses. Kole made this known at the stakeholders' inception meeting on the Nigeria Anti-Corruption Performance Public Reporting (NAPPR) held in Abuja.
I say that we do the work around anti-corruption and accountability because it is one of the most important things that we should do for our people. It is about life and death. It's about people either having access to water to drink, people going to hospitals to get medication. It's about women trying to deliver. It's about our roads that could be death traps. It's about children going to school but are beaten by rain. It is about food that every one of us should have, but many of us are dying hungry. It is about the ordinary citizens that are just trying and struggling to live as human beings. But some of us who are in position of power and authority have decided to deny them by taking over all these resources and putting them in our own pockets. We are doing this work because we just want to make a country where 90% of the people can at least get the basic thing that they need. And the basic things they need are not things that have already been provided for by government. And all we are asking them for is that, please, you are a contractor, you get 30% mark as your profit, can you please execute the work? We are not even saying that you should not get the contract, because that is your own business. You should get the contract because you're a business person. But if you get the contract to do the work, can you please execute the contract according to the specifications that you have signed? That is what you are supposed to do. So I hope that those of us who do this work, I hope we see it in that light of our commitment to improve the quality of lives of our own ordinary citizens.
According to Professor Shola Akinrinade, it is necessary for the anti-corruption agencies to properly document their efforts in order to ensure adequate public reporting.
In matters of anti-corruption reporting, there is so much dissonance between the reality and the perception. And what tells us that there's a gap between perception and reality is the annual ritual of the Transparency International. When the report comes out and the government begins to say, I've not made any progress in the last 1 year. And the key issue is, what are we reporting? Because what is being reported is what we have been documented. What is being documented? If the anti-corruption agencies are not properly documenting their efforts, then the media cannot report what is not being done. So the impact of what you are doing can only be felt when we realize that we need to train ourselves on what we are communicating.
However, Professor Sadiq Rada noted that there are few challenges to fighting corruption. Also mentioned that solutions like citizens' participation in politics will bring about an end to the increasing rate of corruption in the society.
I recommend the center should get ready, very, very seriously get ready, because there are quite a number of challenges, but they are not insurmountable. For example, you will see many people making very fanciful statements in public, in the media, at meetings, but when you get the data regarding them, they are nothing but crooks. So get ready for this kind of shockers. Number two, there are people who say what they don't do. For instance, some of us who are part of this fighting corruption have convinced ourselves that we should not be corrupt ourselves. We should be able to stop it with our hands if we can, or with our voices, or with our mouths, or at least we should resent it in our heart. But we cannot just be onlookers. Somehow convince yourself that you will never be part of fraud. going forward, fight it using your instrumentalities of power, the leverage you have. But by the time you are preaching against it, but you can take part in it, is neither here nor there. Then the next one is over-governmentalization. We seem to forget about what happens in the private sector. And ICPC has shown that the quantum of corruption in the private sector is much more damaging and in fact higher than the corruption you have in the public sector. So while we are fighting corruption in the public sector, we should pay equal attention to the private sector. I feel there is an area we seem to forget or ignore, that we can fight corruption through political participation. When everybody demonizes politics and politicians, when in fact politics and politicians are necessary. So why do we ignore a very important process that produces our leaders? Why do we demonize a very important process that produces our leaders? By the time you ignore it, then anybody goes in, then anything goes. They produce the kind of leaders we don't want, we complain. So let us, I'm happy that we have a very broad spectrum of the media here. Please encourage those people who truly know they have integrity, they have something to offer in the political process to take part. Taking part in the political process doesn't necessarily mean contesting. You can take charge of what happens in your ward, ensure that the right quality of people are brought on board, and then quality leadership can emerge, local, state, and federal level. Fighting corruption is noble. Fighting corruption is worth doing. Fighting corruption is a charitable job. Fighting corruption is enlightened self-interest. If we don't do it, it's going to consume some of us who are living and those who are yet to be born. And humanity will not forgive us if we fail to take fighting corruption forward. For us, we will do whatever it takes to rid Nigeria of corruption, no matter the consequences.
Owaya Rachel, GTV Africa.